everyone, this is Rafiq from Demibooks, and I'm here today with a couple of special guests. Stacey Williams, who is publisher and founder at Little Bahalia up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and Tim Demeter, who is her director of marketing. And Stacey is special to Demibooks because she was here on day one. We did Astrogems with her for a part of the journey. She was our creative director, and it's really pleasing to see her start a business around our platform. And around children's picture books. So we're going to talk a little bit about stuff with them, and welcome to Chicago.
Thanks
for having us.
Little Bahalia was founded just last year, 2012, and I put it together inspired by the work that I had done at Demibooks, seeing that there was an opportunity to create content and to bring others' content to life through this platform. And truth be told, a lot of it is just because it is so easy to use. I mean, I'm not trying to sound like an infomercial, but it's true. It was so easy to use that I thought there's a business to be made here, and really focus more on the design and not have to agonize over the technology, because you guys have already done that. So that, in a nutshell, is what it is. I'm also interested in children's literature, so it was important to me to break off because we wanted to go into print as well, as you know. So we're also doing hardcover picture books. Well, we obviously, if we're going to be content driven, we need to have great relationships with writers and with illustrators. Tim and I both have backgrounds as artists. We have been instrumental in founding a group called the Cream City Illustrators in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, which is known as the Cream City. So we have a group there that is just fantastic, and I teach part-time at MIAD, which stands for the Milwaukee Institute of Art and Design. So I'm working with illustration students there. So we're really getting very heavily involved in the illustration community. More and more we're reaching out to writers and editors as well. I have, just by coincidence, just by the path my career has taken, some relationships in Singapore and Malaysia. I used to live in that part of the world. So that's where many of the children's books of the world are printed. A lot of coffee table books and children's books are printed there. So I have some great printing resources as well. So those are some of the things that we've brought to the table. That's really what we're good at, is content, printing the content, distributing that content. But I guess a big question mark, if we hadn't known you, would have been, well, how in the world do we make an app? I mean, I think a lot of people are there.
Yeah.
They want to make children's books, and they want to make apps. They think they look cool and all that, but they don't necessarily know hardcore developers or game developers who could really bring that to fruition. Well, I think two big lessons. I would start with ebooks versus apps. You know, I get really hot-headed when I see that ebooks go for $6.99. There's no one person I can be angry at. That's just the market. But the funny thing is, you know, ebooks are so much easier to make than an app. They're just flat. They might have sound if it's a fixed layout EPUB, but typically an ebook, which many people may not even know, which is different than an app, an ebook being just a flat book that's almost like a glorified PDF, sells for more, presumably because parents who are the buyers of these things, parents and grandparents, perceive that as a real book. An app, unfortunately, no matter how much integrity it has and how much integrity the author and the illustrator have, still kind of lands among games, whether we like it or not. And there's a perception that it is kind of a game, I think. And so we end up having to just drive that price down and down and down. Oh, it's $1.99 this week. Oh, it's 99 cents this week. Oh, it's a free giveaway this week. Whereas you don't have to do that with ebooks. But I still hesitate to go into the ebook market just because I feel like we've spent a lot of care designing apps that do beautiful things that really enhance the learning quality of this product. So I still stand behind apps as being a wonderful thing for delivering a message to a child. But from a pure business standpoint, it pains me that we're still kind of put in the bucket.
Well, and you have to think about that you're competing against, you know, time wasters and productivity apps and games, rather than, I mean, there's books there too, but your primary competition is completely different than your primary competition in the ebook store and a physical bookstore. So you have to figure out how to make your product stand out, not just next to another book app, but you have to figure out how to make your product stand out next to, you know, an amazingly popular video game. The real power of social media is engaging influencers and finding people who are excited about your product and who will talk about it to their peer groups, because that's where you're really going to see downloads happening. is they want to hear from a trusted source, from a friend or a family member or a blogger who they've followed for years and respect. Those are the people who can really drive traffic for you. So those are the kind of people that we want to be really looking for. It's like, we're out there with a broad social media strategy for every man, woman, and child out there. But the ones that I'm really thinking about are the people who are going to go out there and carry my message out for me.
No.
Do excellent work is really the short of it. And, not patting ourselves on the back, but it's just, I mean that generally. If you want to get attention, do something good is the short of it, because then it's an easy sell. We did nothing to get into the Guardian.
Yeah, we didn't write to anyone. I didn't even know who wrote the article. They don't have a byline, so I have no way of finding out how we make that list.
But if you wanted to get, if you wanted to get into schools, it's traditional methods. But first of all, you have to make sure that the schools you're targeting have the capabilities to move your books, because they don't have iPads. They obviously can't help you. But call school districts.
Well, we've got 2 hardcover books coming out in the fall. A Troop is a Group of Monkeys, which is the series we've been working on. It's actually 2 apps. A Troop is a Group of Monkeys and A Shiver of Sharks, which is all ocean animals. Both of those are included in the hardback. And then we have another one called Teeny Tiny Trucks. It's for youngsters, really young readers, like 3 to 6. And it's about the little tiny trucks in the garden, kids playing with small trucks and cars. And that's coming out also in October, but then we're going to also simultaneously release that with the app.
We have nothing but confidence that this space is going to grow. We're excited to be on the bleeding edge of it, and as it continues to grow, we're going to try and position ourselves as leaders and say, we've been doing this for years. Now that you think it's cool, great, we're experts. We've been doing it for a couple of years already. So.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Best of luck to you guys.
Thank you.
Continued success.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming in today.